Okay, so welcome back to the mini class. This is going to be part 4 in the series where we're actually going to add all of our colors. So now after the video yesterday, I did go in and add a few more little details in there so you can see all the layering going on. There's lots of stuff tucked down in there. Okay, everything's pretty well dry, so this is what it looks like so far without the spraying. Now the colors I'm going to be using are Treasured Hymn in Spritz, Shimmerz Heavy Metal, Vibes and Abominable Blue. This was from the Merry and Bright collection, and it's one of my favorites, so you can see I barely have any left. I'm going to be using Rockefeller Blue, which is a really dark, smoky, grayish blue. And I already said Treasured Hymn. I got 2 of those out, excuse me, y'all. And I'm going to use Seafoam, but I have a big bottle of it, and I put some in a small one that I had, and I added a little bit of water to tone it down and make it the exact blue that I pretty much wanted, which is going to match these flowers right here. Okay, so I'm going to do some spraying, and then some of it I'm just going to paint on with a paintbrush to kind of control where the sprays go a little more. But I'm going to start out with just my Heavy Metal Shimmerz. Beautiful color. You guys can see it swirling in there. And this is more of just a shimmer. It hardly has any color to it at all, but if you spray a couple of times you can build up a really deep, pretty brown color. So I'm just spraying randomly. Okay. And I'm going to use all of my brown tones, and then I will let it dry before I go on to my other blues. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with Treasured Hymn, and I might pull a little bit of the Hot Fudge too out while I'm at it. Okay. Beautiful color. Yeah, and I think I will go in with a little bit of the Hot Fudge because it's just a tidbit darker. Well, a good bit darker than these other ones. So I'm going on my darker ones, I am going to use a paintbrush. Really concentrating the center of that flower right there with the Hot Fudge. Okay, and now I'm going to heat set this before I go on to my blue tones. Okay, now I'm going to go in with my blues. I'm going to start out with the Abominable Blue. Okay, now I'm going to go to my Seafoam, and I'm actually going to paint this one on, and I did end up mixing a little bit of gesso in there, and it pretty much matches this flower spot on. So I'm just going to go in and paint a little bit with this one. See how close that color matches there. And I still want a lot of the gesso to show through. I'm not going to cover everything. I'm not going for full coverage. I want a lot of the metal to show, and I want a lot of the gesso to show through still. Okay. And now I'm going to just go over it with a little bit of the Snowstorm to kind of spread out the blues and make them blend a little more. Okay, now I'm going to let this one dry. Okay, now I'm going to go back in with the Treasured Hymn. I want a little bit more brown than I have blue, so I'm just going to go over randomly. Okay, and a little bit of the Heavy Metal. This is what it looks like so far. I'm going to let it dry one more time. Now I'm going to go in with just a tidbit of the Rockefeller Blue. It is a very dark blue, so I'm just going to kind of use it sparingly. Okay, y'all, everything is pretty well dry. You can see just how pretty all the colors are, and of course the pictures will do much better at showing you that than the video. I am going to go in with a little bit of gesso and kind of highlight some of the areas. I always like to do that to make sure my brush is really clean. Okay, so just kind of blot most of it off and then kind of go in and highlight all over. Okay, so that is pretty well done, y'all. I'm going to do one last final step here, and I'm just going to add a little bit more paper coming out. But you can see how the gesso just kind of highlights some of the areas. From the same Kaisercraft base coat collection, there's a sheet of bricks in there, and I think it would just look really pretty with some of the bricks kind of poking out from different areas. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to use hot glue to adhere paper down. Okay. So just a few random pieces of the brick. Okay, so that is it, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed the canvas and enjoyed the start to finish class on it. If you have any questions, just leave me comments down below.